The government of Saint Lucia is providing support to 2 abuse prevention agencies in order to help improve operation efficiency and the quality of services provided to the public. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved an increase of the annual subvention to one of those agencies, the Saint Lucia Crisis Center. The Minister for Gender Affairs, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, spoke on the increase.
When we speak of crisis center, it's not supposed to be just for women. However, it's mostly women who access these services. And government, since they vacated the place where they were, they need to get a new location. And with a new board in place, they submitted a request to government, and government increased their subvention. The subvention that they used to get from government before was in the region of $72,000 a year. And that would assist in paying the rent and paying some staff support. At this point, as we speak, government increased that subvention by $168,000. So now the crisis center will be receiving to the tune of $240,000 from government, and they are going to get their own space. They are going to have increased staff, and this will help them attend to some of the needs of the people who have found themselves in domestic violence matters.
The other agency, the Women's Support Center, will be bolstered by expert advice within a transition committee. This will help with its transition into an independent organization or business. An annual subvention and housing continues to be provided by the government.
In addition to the crisis center, we have just established a transition committee for the Women's Support Center. And we actually did a review of the Women's Support Center that is completed. And that review recommended that we have a transition committee that will transit that Women's Support Center to either an organization or a business, and it has to be registered. The employees of the Women's Support Center actually approached the Department of Public Service, represented by the union. They are represented by the CSA, indicating that there are certain conditions that they were dissatisfied with, only to find out that this Women's Support Center should have been a private entity. It's not a government entity. Government would just give them a subvention every year to allow them to function. The building where they operate belongs to government, but they are not under the direct jurisdiction of the government. So with that transition, the recommendation coming out of the review is stating that we need to make them a separate organization and not a government department. And they are given 6 months within which to make that transition, and we look forward to seeing the success.
Government representatives on the transition committee include the Director of Gender Affairs, the Permanent Secretary in the Department of Gender, a representative of the police, a representative from the Attorney General's chambers, and other experts on gender-based violence. The Women's Support Center provides shelter for abuse victims, while the Saint Lucia Crisis Center works to mitigate abuse by delivering counseling, education, and a range of supportive services. From the Government Information Service, I am Kishma Seri.